My friends, hello. Welcome back. It's been a little while, but we're back doing our DLC run. This is the first time I've ever ran through the DLC, and I'm kind of just advancing forward, as I said I would do last video, to a point in which we can get Mason off of this awful rock that he got stranded on. And I think we're finally ready. So what we've done, and this was all totally unnecessary, by the way. I could have gotten him much earlier, but this was just a silly thing I was doing. But I built my own rocket platform, whole new rocket to get him off of here. We have got this thing loaded up. We're going to try to take Dreckos back with us. We're also taking back some thimble reeds because we want reed fibers out of this. We can start making suits and start doing some of the later game stuff that we need to do. The only thing that is a little bit strange is I'm not sure if we're going to get all of the same resources that we normally get. And I'll show you why in the rest of the video. But there's a couple of points of unfinished business that we need to do here as we catch Mason doing an extremely important job on his own solo colony. But yeah, so what I want Mason to do first is let's check this out. I've saved this for a little while. We have a little liquid lock here. I could probably get rid of these doors. They don't really matter. We're about to leave anyway. We've got a little liquid lock here. We're going to go out and explore this satellite. So let's go rummage and see what's in there. Go, Mason, go. By the way, he's been perpetually sick for almost the entire time because this is a very messy place, and trying to keep up all the vital systems to just keep one dupe alive by themselves is a lot of work. Alright, so we rummaged and we got wart seeds. I guess the crushed satellite is just this, so it's just wart seeds. Which, okay, sure, whatever. We might as well take back with us, so let's go back in here. Let's make him take all the wart seeds that we got. I'm also having him take balm lily seeds back, but I don't really need those. Whatever. We'll make use of them. Wait, what is this? What's a bliss burst seed? Huh. Lots of things to know. In the meantime, I'm going to try to have him bring us some Dreckos, because I have these things set up to accept it. I'm not sure if you can actually take these guys with you on a space mission, but these Dreckos are about to go on an interesting adventure if you can. So, let's go back. Let's capture these Dreckos. And these are the only two that I managed to find here. So we're going to take them back. A little bit of a spoiler alert about this stuff. We'll talk about it here in just a second. But yeah, while he was here by himself, we got a bunch of stuff set up. I did set up the nature reserve like somebody had recommended from a previous video. So he is very happy out here. This is the most happy he's been so far. Morale is very high. He also has a lot of different skills because a lot of different things needed to be done that required specific skills. So Mason's going to come back to the colony, be disappointed with all these other things that are going on because it's just not as interesting. So, yeah. Alright, let's see if we can actually take these Dreckos with us, because I want to take them back so that I can start ranching them. And this is the first place I found them. Oh, looks like it's working. Drecko's going to be taken too. Oh no! He celebrated and dropped the Drecko. You fool. Well, at least he's cured of slime lung, so that's okay. We might have to get this done tomorrow because it looks like he is not going to be abiding by what we need him to do right now. Yeah, he's going to soon go on break and then go to sleep. So let's talk about some other stuff that's happened here. I don't really know what I'm looking for here, and this was kind of a struggle that I had on the other asteroid that I had gone to, besides the main one. This one does have a bunch of interesting stuff here. So the most interesting stuff here is radium. And these beta fineries. And these seem like something that's going to be with all of the radiation system. But as far as I can tell, this radiation system is not operational yet. As evidenced by the cross-out sign on there. But also by the fact that I can't see anything that actually says this is radioactive. If I start exploring the different like helpers for this, so we could see some stuff here that talks about radiation, so don't want it to contaminate other things. You need to use proper vessels that are lined with lead. Duplicants might get radiation sickness. You can take iodine supplements and eat seafood. That's kind of cool. There's also a bunch of stuff talking about nuclear energy. There's like stuff talking about a uranium centrifuge, but I haven't seen any of that. So I just don't think that this exists yet. There's also a tutorial here, and it says I can use the radiation overlay, which is left shift and F4. To check the scope of a radiation field. So I'm going to push those buttons right now, and nothing happens. And I don't see anything up here, so I'm pretty sure that the radiation stuff is just not implemented yet. And hopefully that will be coming soon so we can check that out. What are we doing, Mason? Are we taking any Dreckos to this or what? Can you actually take them here? I guess if you can't, that would... but I saw him capture it. What's he doing? You're powering this up? We don't need power anymore. We're about to leave. Stop that. Alright, he has a task for it to take him out, so let's see if we can get these things out of here. Yoink. Stealing animals from a planet I don't belong at. La 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 la. Okay. And inside. Here we go. Yeah. They're coming with us on a mission. We're going to drop them off back at home. Something I also learned that's going to be pretty funny is I probably could have done this a lot earlier, but I wanted to do this whole exaggerated song and dance just for the sake of having a story of Mason coming back to the colony and being this, like, way stronger, like, way more experienced duplicant. But yeah, we're definitely get some stories out of this. This was totally not necessary, by the way. You don't have to do this in your own runs by any means. I just thought it was funny that I kind of accidentally or perhaps ignorantly landed Mason on this place by himself. And the whole task was just to have him build his own rocket and get back off by himself, too. Ultimate survivor right there. Looks like he's going to eat or harvest something. I don't care about these anymore. Stop it. Take the Drecko and get out of here. Okay, we're just going to lose another day because Mason is too busy doing other stuff. No, we should be fine. Yeah, okay. What are you doing? Okay, he's hungry. Must have gotten used to that midday break that I gave him early on. But yeah, like I was talking about, somebody told me to put a nature reserve down here and then make a great hall nearby. So yeah, Mason's very happy. We don't have a bathroom for him though, so that's a little bit of a downside. But you know what? He's pretty happy overall. Let's grab this Drecko, and I think that this is it. Let me see if I need to... Yeah, let me grab these seeds, and then I'm going to be peacing out of here. We'll come back later with a more set-up crew when we have a reason to mine all this out. Or we can explore around a little bit more, but with one person, it's so unbearably slow. Alright, what seeds do we have here? Wart seeds. Let's set this to 8. Let's get him on these last couple things, and then we'll send him out. Oh, by the way, the interior of my rocket, which you could probably have seen here really quickly, I set up a little bit better setup because I do have algae now, so that can produce oxygen for me. I don't think you actually need food for the duration of most flights, so I'm not taking food on this one. Yeah, so that'll be interesting if that ever is required later. Alright, where are you at, sir? Outside of the seeds, especially these wart seeds, I don't think anything else is really that necessary. So this should be like his last couple trips, I think, and then we'll be leaving. In the meantime, I think we're probably going to leave tomorrow because he's about to go to sleep. Let's check out what else is going on, too. Whoops, wrong one. What I was doing here, this has changed just a little bit, but what I was doing here is trying to explore as far as I could with this telescope. And I thought, you know, it's only a matter of time before I explore everything from here, and then I'll have a lot more places to go. Turns out there's something on these telescopes that says, you've actually seen all the tiles you can see from this location. So you have to research and use your telescopes from different locations to see further out on the star map. So what I have seen thus far was about here with the initial exploration. This other asteroid was something that I didn't really know how to purpose for, so I sent a couple of duplicates back there for just a little bit to get all the exploration done here and to set a landing pad in case we need to land there. But yeah, I went back here for just a little bit, kind of polished things up a little bit, capturing some gases, and then yeah, left. So there's not much of a reason to be here anymore, which is why it's empty. And we're going to be back down to one asteroid here really soon that's being occupied and actively worked on. Alright, what are you doing? Looks like he's eating again? Man. He's really digging that meal, Lice. Alright, so tomorrow we will take off and we will have him rejoin his colonists. Something that was pretty funny, by the way, is this is still floating out in space, the one he came on. Still sitting right here, but you can apparently re-land this without it being manned. So that's kind of an interesting development that I could have done a long time ago, but I'm just going to leave it there for right now. We'll grab it and we'll put it somewhere else later. There's nothing really vital on there. It's like some polluted dirt, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, I could have definitely done something with that earlier, but that doesn't fit into the narrative I'm trying to tell. Alright, as for stuff that's happening back here before we take off, I'm going to start getting set up to ranching these things, and this is how I set up my Drecko farm most of the time. There are different and better ways to do it if you want to maximize for certain outcomes, but the biggest outcomes I'm trying to maximize for are, one, cheapness and something I don't really have to pay attention to. Something that's not going to take any more resources, so I'm just going to feed them balm lilies, which grow for free. And I want eggshells out of this, and I want meat out of this, just to make my food fully sustainable, so I can start worrying about some other stuff. The other stuff I need to worry about is I'm still relying on polluted dirt to produce oxygen here, and it's getting kind of low. It's about time for me to switch on to water-based oxygen generation. So I've been setting a lot of that stuff up in the background. Talk about this in just a little bit. But yeah, so I'm working on that, trying to work on capturing that, trying to make some refined metals and steel and stuff with this. My output pipes are full, which means I need to set up my oxygen here pretty soon. Another thing I should mention is the solar panels that I have up here. I have a lot of solar panels. I've made a lot of extra glass so that I can make as many solar panels as I want, and this is to the point that you probably need to change how easy this is right now. These solar panels are super overpowered. Kind of pun intended, I guess. I didn't even notice I was doing that, but I guess that means not intended. But there's really no reason to use anything other than solar panels right now if you can get these things set up. There is a way to be more efficient, but this is still totally fine. And because of this, you can actually use a lot more power very wastefully than you would normally need. And that's kind of a slippery slope. I wouldn't just outright say to be wasteful about it, but I have been a little bit more wasteful than normal, only because I'm not expending any resources to actually get this power. I'm just building something and then I just get power forever. So yeah, that's kind of a sore spot right now in the early access. So I hope they get that fixed up in some way. Maybe make it require some later game materials or something like that, because right now there is no reason for me to make any other power sources other than solar because it's so strong. Yeah, another thing I was going to mention, and I have this paused by the way, we'll unpause it here in just a bit. Somebody was talking to me about sending brine through the desalinator and saying that it comes out at a fixed temperature, which is actually interesting. I didn't know that. I've also not tested it before this. I probably should have. But I left it down in this pit anyway because I wanted this to heat up and more specifically cool down this area, because eventually I'm going to connect to this magma, probably to do a little bit of oil cooking, which is not something that I've done on my channel before. Namely because it's just going to be a little bit easier to do that as I send oil back here, and I'll get some use out of this magma, and also just to kind of play around with that idea a little bit. I was going to use this for energy, but I don't think I'm going to do that now because there's so many solar panels, and the solar panels are so free. So I think I'm just going to leave that how it is. And then I'm using this also. The liquid being heated up at all was really helpful because the chlorine that was coming into this room for the balm lilies and for the Dreckos was really cold. And I would normally place space heaters in here, but liquid is always much more powerful than gas when it comes to heating or cooling. So I'm just circulating all that hot liquid in here and raised it from about 30 degrees Fahrenheit to 110. So that's definitely had some positive side effects for me, which I think I'm just going to go ahead and turn this off because I don't actually need this right now. I thought I built this, but I guess I didn't. There we go. And yeah, the other thing I've been doing recently is kind of sorting out my gases. I used to have them all just kind of collecting right here, but I wasn't really sorting them, so it was kind of a mess. So if I needed chlorine, for example, which is what I eventually filled this up with in here, or if I needed more carbon dioxide, then it was a disaster of trying to get this all set up. And kind of a PSA that I'm going to mention is that this type of filtration with either gas shutoffs or vents are very inexpensive. They're also very prone to breaking and not doing what you want them to do, only because if any of the pipes ever get stuffed up, that means the filters are not going to work like they're supposed to. These filters only work, and especially the ones that lead into a vent. Like if I were to send one of these gas element sensors into a vent, if that vent was ever blocked because of air pressure, and it was valid for right now because I have no plastic, then you're just kind of stuck. Like it's just going to skip over the vent, and it's just going to go to a place that you don't want it to. So yeah, PSA, this kind of filtration can be very buggy if you don't have a way to make sure that you're always going to have free flow. And the way you can assure that is just by having a ton of extra tanks for this stuff to go into, even if a majority of them are empty. But yeah. This is also a case where I'm generating so much power that I could even get away with using the regular filters, but they're just exponentially worse, so I don't want to put it out there that that's anything I would typically recommend. So yeah, I'm just leaving them like this for the time being. Yeah, so the plan is ranching. The plan is getting onto suits so we can start doing some other stuff. But I need to continue to explore and start moving some stuff around with my rockets. So let's go back and do that real quick. So let me assign the researcher to this, Mason, who's been on his own for quite a while. Let's go ahead and change the crew. I'm going to force him to go in. I'm going to set him as the pilot. And let's see what he does. All right, Mason, let's go. Yes, okay. So we're now inside the rocket. We're about to leave this awful rock. We have enough oxygen to last us for quite a while. So let's go ahead and change where we're going to land. Let's go ahead. Oh, we already set that. So it looks like we just need to have liftoff. So let's go back here and hit launch. All right, Mason, let's do this. You're going back home by yourself. You got this. All right, we've reloaded somewhere, so I guess that means that we have moved. Looks like we are still traveling, and we will get there soon. I think. This is kind of a weird animation. Almost looks like they're crashing into each other. But I think we should be fine. I don't think that we're going to get too stuck or anything like that. Because I got there on basically one mask worth of oxygen before, so I don't think that that's going to be too bad. Set all these metal ores. I can start planting my bomb lilies, by the way, because it's now warm enough. And then when the Dreckos get here, I should just be able to unload them and load them right back into this room and start ranching them. So we could start building up some of that. And yes, I should state again, I am very aware that you can set up these rooms with hydrogen and chlorine and stuff like that. I try to keep these more simple because I don't necessarily need that. I don't need them to regrow their scales. And I typically will do it in a different way that's like less maintenance for this type of room. And especially for one that's all kind of united like this. The things I'm trying to maximize for are growing balm lilies. Not needing a ton of maintenance and complicated setup to get hydrogen in here, because I don't really have anything that generates hydrogen. At least not yet. And also getting as many eggshells and meat as, I guess, drops of meat as possible. It's kind of a weird way to say that, but you know what I mean. Alright, and then, yeah, we're going to go ahead and start dropping these in here as soon as they get back. So we have him in orbit, and while he's in orbit, he should be there now, I think. Let's check out the star map. No, let's just change it to a landing site on here so that he'll just land whenever he can. We'll land it on the empty platform that we have, and then as soon as he gets there, then we'll call it good. I hope that he doesn't starve, because I did not take food. The funny thing would be is if I had to kill one of these Dreckos for food, but I think he'll be okay. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. So as soon as he lands back down here, everyone's going to be like, what the? Who's landing on our platform? And he'll jump out and be like, ha ha ha, I'm back. You thought I was dead because you hadn't heard from me for so long. Alright, other stuff that we need to be talking about here. I think that's it. I think that we're pretty much clear. All my notes I think we have cleared so far. So let's start setting up maybe some more platforms so that we can run another mission. I might have to just deconstruct the rocket once it gets back here. And I think I will have the next mission take a bunch of dupes to the other place so that we can start digging around there and start seeing exactly what's there. And then we can explore there and see what's around us and kind of figure out where to go from there. So, at least for right now, I don't really have much of a reason to be here because I haven't seen anything that explicitly requires petroleum. Even if you look through the rocketry right now, let's look through the research and see what we have. I've researched as much as I can, especially things that are labeled to be for rockets. So right now, we have the platforms, we have cargo modules, we have the actual things to explore, we have the portapod, we have some payload stuff. As far as engines, I've only seen two. I've only seen this sugar one and the carbon dioxide one. I haven't seen any more. So I don't know what that means as far as how far we'll be able to get in this current iteration of the DLC. If that means that we will be stuck until they finish the rest of it, because I can imagine them requiring like nuclear energy to get to the last places. But I don't know, that's just me guessing, so we'll see. Let's jump back out of here. Have you landed yet? What's going on? Rocket is floating in space with no destination. Well, I disagree, because I told you to go somewhere else. Oh, did I click on the wrong one? I think I did. Oh no, they're orbiting it now. I don't know why that didn't take my instruction then. Where's this one on the map? Inspiring Virgo is the one that I don't... Oh yeah, Inspiring Virgo is the one that I want to just stay here for the time being. So I had just clicked on the wrong one. Let's change it to this, and we'll just have it orbit for the time being. It is unmanned right now, but yeah. Only the second mission I've ever done, so we're getting there. This says it should be landing soon, I think. Oh, here we are. Are you here? Yes, you're here. You're back. All right, let's capture these guys. Let's deconstruct this real quick. And I think he can get out. I don't know why he wouldn't be able to. It says he's still in the rocket. I don't know what's going on. Are you getting out, or... Oh, I have to kick him out. Okay. Get out. Hey, I'm back. I went off by myself, and you thought I was dead, but now I'm back, and I walked through liquid carbon dioxide. Oh, this base changed a little bit. Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, story's over. Mason's back in the colony. Let's grab these Dreckos and start putting these in here, though. And we'll kind of rush some of this stuff so we can start getting some of this set up. Also, there's seeds in there that we really are interested in, so let's view this interior. We can just keep the algae in here. I don't need to actually do anything with this anymore. I'll just deconstruct, or maybe disable this building for the time being so nobody tries to load it. And then we have wart seeds, balm lily seeds, and thimblereed seeds. Let's start planting those thimblereeds and get some reeds as soon as we can. We will shave these down, by the way. I'll just put something in there for the time being to shave them out and get a little bit of stuff for the suits. But outside of like creating another rocket and going somewhere, I don't really have a lot of stuff on my schedule. So let's just start getting some stuff out of there. Actually, if I'm going to deconstruct all of this, I might as well... Let me just make a second pad, just in case. Because they're really not that expensive, I don't think. We'll just make a second pad for now. I'm going to plant... I also had to dig up some stuff, by the way, because we're making a lot of food. I am grabbing sleet wheat grain from around the map, too, just because it's free. And we're not being super serious and super efficient about this run, so I'm just kind of cooking all the stuff that I find. I could probably cook this. I don't know why I'm not. I guess I don't really grow that much of it, but... Yeah. So what we will need is we will need these to be of a certain type. And they are taking polluted water, but this polluted water is too cold. So I need to send in different polluted water to these. I am making a lot of food right now, so maybe I can dig all the rest of this up. Let me at least dig these up, and then I'll replace these. Bog buckets. Not there. Cancel. Cancel. Deconstruct. Okay. Then we'll start growing some thimblereed seeds as soon as we can, and at least get some stuff up for suits. Maybe by the next video. But yeah, I mean, we're looking pretty good here. Really no complaints as far as I've seen thus far on this run, outside of not really having any idea what we're doing. But we're figuring it out. The next thing I definitely need to start getting on top of is creating oxygen from water. So that'll be electrolyzers and stuff like that. This base is pretty cramped, but I think I'm just going to start digging into some of these ice biomes and just place it somewhere in there. Or maybe over here to the side, because there's not really a whole lot going on over here. Actually, I just dug all this out. Maybe this is a good place to do it. But I think in the future, whenever I go somewhere, I might try to get some sugar engines up. And I need to figure out where all this sugar is actually coming from. I think it's excreted by these critters. So these critters may be giving me rocket fuel right now, which means that I should probably stop eating it. Because you can make stuff out of this sucrose that I should probably stop. So I'm going to turn this off. But I have 9 tons of it. That's probably a pretty good amount. Then let's try to find some more places to go and see what we can haul there with a new rocket. And call that good. Let's increase this pretty fast. I don't know why everyone's taking so long. I must have just had it paused while everyone was sleeping or something like that. I'm like, why is nothing happening? So the game's paused. Alright. Good job, Peppy, whatever your name is. I couldn't see because you were running and the text was blocked by other UI. Say that to somebody in real life. Alright. I think we can also turn off of our heating mechanism here. And then once we get further down, I'll start getting oil, which, by the way, I need to mention something about this. I did use this just a little bit, these supply teleporters. It was just to move some refined metal because I had some in one place and not in the other, and I didn't want to set up metal refining, so I sent it. But the thing that I think we really need here is I think we need automation setups here to like send automation signals through this as well. I did mention this a little bit before in another video, but I think that getting automation through this is going to be the best way of having the other side of the teleporter saying that like, hey, I need some more stuff because whatever is set here. So please send me more stuff, and then it would be like, okay, cool, I'll turn this on and send it to you. But we don't have that, so if I could make a request to anybody that can make this happen, please have automations set up going through this that will take any of these, like multiplexing stuff, any of the ribbons especially too. So if you could have it take some of these ribbons and be able to send many automation signals through the teleporter, that would be great, because then you'd actually know when to send stuff through the teleporter, as opposed to just having to manually babysit it. I would like that, please and thank you. Alright, we getting these Dreckos out? We closing this thread or what? Am I just gonna have to drop them in another place? Okay, no, here we go. Alright, Dreckos and Drecklets. We're also gonna need to set up shipping here, by the way, so I will do that after this video, because this video is about to end. But yeah. Do I need a fire pole here? I'm going to have to find a way to ship stuff out of here. But I'm going to have to set up shipping. I'll set up my typical critter drowning tank. I'll start setting up my oxygen. Those will all be plans for the next video. I think in here I could list or contain probably 5. I like to do a lower number than can possibly be tolerated too. Only because I don't want to get any of those glum warnings. And I won't have shipping up for just a little bit. Once I do have shipping up, I'll maximize it out to the space that can be here. But you also don't necessarily need to maximize this every time. Speaking of which, I might need to actually build this out a little bit more so that I can have 2 grooming stations for this large of a population. It can be better to have 2 rather than 1 sometimes, but I don't want to waste a bunch of time. Alright, so let's grab these Dreckos and move them in here. View the interior. We're changing the crew to all, so that will allow us to have anybody enter and exit. Did one of the Dreckos die? Okay, there we go. Alright, this says we need to have somebody skilled enough to do it, but we should because there's enough people here that have that ability. That's probably just a bug. I've noticed a handful of bugs about that when you change colonies, that it won't quite update everything that it needs to as far as like messaging or saying what you're capable of. But somebody should run out here and grab them here pretty soon. Yep, here we go. Gonna go inside so we can watch the action. Gonna grab them out of here. These guys are probably like, what in the hell did you bring back? Never seen anything like it before. Alright, getting our bomb lilies up so these guys will be able to eat. Gonna start ranching them real good so they can give us the supplies that we want. Alright, let's start building another rocket since we have a little bit of time. Let's see what we can do with this. We have our other one out here still. I guess I don't really have a reason to. Let's just tell it to land here. Okay. That was faster than I thought it would be. Alright. Oh, I also noticed that there's like a fuel amount remaining on here. I don't know if sitting out in orbit really takes its fuel away, but yeah. That was so much faster than I expected. Because this game has kind of trained me that you'll have to wait a little bit for anything to happen, but I was like, hey, land here. It's like, oh, okay. And it just lands. All right, let's deconstruct some of this, and let's reconstruct it with those sugar engines and see what we can get. I might want to just transport all of my dupes to the next colony, or at least like 5 or 6 of them at the time, so that we can really haul on this other asteroid, figure out what's here, bring back whatever's valuable, set it up for future use, and then get out of there. So might run another mission over to this place really fast. It also is kind of good that we're having all this stuff take place in one area, like this whole video. Because I think it can be really distracting to... What happened to this Drecko? Where is it? It can be really distracting to have to switch back and forth through sites all the time. Why are you guys not bringing this? What are you doing? Ugh. These should be set up to accept them. I don't know what they're waiting for. Well, hopefully somebody will go get him soon. Either way, I'll get them in there by some means or another. Maybe they'll lay an egg when they're inside there, and I'll just steal the egg. Alright, I'm going to have to reset up these things once again so that we're not sending too cold of water to our handy-dandy thimble reeds. I don't want to have to do this to empty the pipes, but I think I might have to, because I want to make it... I'll just make a big mess. Who cares? Nah, that's not a good idea. I'm like conflicted on how big of a mess I want to make when I'm switching this over, but I'm going to start pumping in just warmer water, because I do have warmer water in half of these tanks, because these tanks are what's storing the output of my metal refinery. Even still, this is still a little cold. Maybe I should recycle it back into these tanks, but I have so much extra. I really need to start making oxygen so I can spend this water. Alright, we are over time, so let's call that good here. Like I mentioned, our plans are getting up to suits. I'm going to try to have the next area explored outside of here. I also don't know if I could just blindly fly somewhere with this ship, so if I need to do that, I will come back when that happens, just so we can kind of poke around and see what's out here. But yeah, we'll either run a big mission over here to explore more around it, to grab resources there and kind of see what it's all about. Rocket has no fuel. Yeah, I don't want it. I should probably actually deconstruct all the stuff inside here first, by the way, and get it out. I guess, I don't know what happens. I need to figure that out. But yeah, back to the end of the video, which is what I was talking about. My plan for the next couple of videos is going to be one more of the pointless challenges, maybe one more DLC, and then I think I'm going to go back to a couple more tutorials that people have been requesting on my channel. So if you guys have any ideas for tutorials that you would like to see, please let me know so that I can prioritize those. I will always prioritize those over anything else. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. I'll be back really soon with more videos. I'll see you soon.